Because I feel like motomami is an energy.
Oh.
And my
Who's your crush? Yeah, enough with that question. Who's your crush? Who's your crush? You think I'm gonna tell you? You think I'm gonna tell you?
Hoy vamos a analizar el inglés de Rosalía, una de mis artistas favoritas, y de hecho el 90% de este vídeo va a ser en inglés para que puedas practicar tu listening. Si te cuesta entenderme, enciende los subtítulos. So let's switch to English. I have to say that I'm a huge fan of Rosalía. I think she's an artistic genius. She's so inspiring, and I'm really excited to share her story with you guys today, and also to see how her English has evolved throughout the years. Rosalía Vila Tobella, known worldwide simply as La Rosalía, was born in a small town near Barcelona in 1992. From a young age, she was fascinated by music, flamenco, pop, hip-hop, and dreamed of creating something that no one had ever heard before. When she was 13, she fell in love with flamenco after hearing Camarón de la Isla, and that obsession changed everything. She decided she would study the art form until she could truly master it. Years later, she graduated from the Catalonia College of Music, where her final university project became her breakthrough album, El Mal Querer. That project was more than an album. It was a statement. A young Catalan woman reinventing flamenco for the world. It won a Latin Grammy, changed Spanish pop forever, and proved that traditional roots and modern sounds could coexist. From there, Rosalía became unstoppable. She collaborated with artists like Billie Eilish, The Weeknd, Travis Scott, and Bad Bunny, earning international fame with songs like Con Altura, Despecha, and La Fama. Her third album, Motomami, released in 2022, cemented her as one of the most innovative artists of her generation. Experimental, bold, and unapologetically herself. Rosalía is the perfect example of when you believe in yourself, you believe in your art, even when nobody else does. She turned her cultural roots into global influence. She mixed rhythms, influences, languages, and styles. And of course, part of that transformation was with English. Actually, in early interviews, which you'll see later, she could barely speak English. But of course, this was so important to her in order to reach international audiences. And now she's known all over the world. She's proof that you don't have to speak perfectly to connect or to succeed. What really matters is the confidence to express yourself, to speak, and to connect beyond language barriers. So today we're going to analyze how she speaks English, her confidence, her accent, her pronunciation, and what you can learn from her journey. Let's start with an interview from 2019, from when she first came onto the international music scene.
Hi, I'm Rosalía, and I'll be fishing for answers with Billboard. What is your favorite dance move? Can you show us? Okay. So I like a lot, I don't know if it's a dance move, honestly, but I like a lot.
This is really good because from this point, I can see that she's translating a lot from Spanish, okay? So one thing she's saying is, I like a lot. That's like, me gusta mucho. But actually, in English, the order is a little bit different. So it would be, I like, noun, a lot. So in this case, she's not mentioning the noun, right? The object. If you want to get grammatical here, she's not mentioning the object of the sentence. She's omitting it. In Spanish, we can do it. Me gusta mucho, right? In English, we say, I like this a lot. I like this one a lot. So we can see she's translating from Spanish here.
You know, or use my hands. Kind of like that. If you were invited to a costume party, what would you dress up as? Pues like that. I mean, first celebrity crush. Come on. For real? Really? Frank Ocean. You know, I love his music. He's amazing. Who is your style icon and why? My style icon, Lola Flores. Me gusta mucho. I love Lola Flores, you know. She was amazing back in the days, like the way she used to dress, her attitude, everything. I loved her. Or
she said back in the days, back in the day.
Or Carmen Amaya. She was a flamenco dancer. I loved her. She used to wear masculine clothes in a moment that no any other woman was dancing in masculine clothes, and she used to dance amazing, like with a lot of strength. Camarón also, with his rings, his tattoos. What is your guilty pleasure food? I have too many. I have too many. Pizza, pasta, chocolate, all kinds of chocolate, cookies, you know, these type of things that I am not supposed to eat. What's your favorite fashion accessory? My favorite fashion accessory, I would say, I love glasses, sunglasses, crazy ones, rings, earrings, necklace, everything at the same time. A lot of jewelry. Who would you love to collaborate with on your next album? I'm not gonna tell you. Like, it's supposed to be a surprise, so I won't say. But I would like to say that I love Kanye West productions. I would love to work with him. I would love to write with him, produce with him, like make music with him. It would be such a dream. I love him. Next. What was the funniest, most memorable moment on set with Penélope Cruz and Antonio Banderas? Okay, puntualizo que I didn't shoot with Antonio Banderas. It was with Penélope, just Penélope and other actresses from Spain.
We can see that she is using a lot of Spanglish. There's some phrases that maybe at the time she didn't know, like a lot of connectors or transition phrases, how to say in English. But I think one thing that she has in her favor that she's always had is her charisma. So even though maybe she's, making some mistakes or her pronunciation isn't 100% like a native English pronunciation, she has so much charisma and so much confidence that it doesn't really matter.
It was quite funny that we had to sing all together, And yeah, Penelope was asking me to rehearse together to sing before the scene. And we were beside the river singing, a tu vera, like that. A tu vera, siempre a la verita tuya, siempre a la verita tuya, hasta que de pena muera. And I remember they were asking, come on, show us how you do it. And we started laughing. It was very funny. It was a great moment. What is the last picture you took on your phone? 5 minutes ago, I took a selfie. I love the outfit and I just took a selfie. Took a selfie? Do you say like that, right?
See, and that is something that's really important, what she just did here. Guys, if you have a doubt or you don't know how to say something, just ask for help. Do you say it like that? Is that how you say it? It's okay, Native speakers, we're not going to bite you if you ask for help, and no one's going to judge you either. If they do, screw them. All right, so we can see in 2019, she had a good English level, okay? We can tell that she was still a learner. She had to use some Spanish to communicate her ideas. And when she was speaking in English, it was a quite simple way, right? Her phrases were simple, but it's okay. She could express her charisma and her confidence in English. And I think that's what makes her such a magnetic person, such a magnetic speaker. So pretty good English. I didn't want to, and she made more mistakes, but I didn't want to point out every single mistake because, guys, I don't want to be a hater like that. Let's go to 2020 when she gave an interview right after winning her first Grammy.
Everybody, it's Ted Stryker at the Grammys 2020. Rosalía, you won a Grammy tonight, an American Grammy tonight.
Here,
How are you feeling right now?
I know it's the first Grammy here. Like, I can't believe that this happened. I can't believe that the people here is receiving my music with so much love. I'm still shocked and.
I can't believe that people here are, right? One person is, the people are, or just people are, right? No es la gente, como en español diríamos, la gente es tan buena. No, in English, people are. So nice.
I'm still shocked and processing it.
Yeah, and what about your performance tonight? Before you actually walked on stage, were you nervous? Were you relaxed? Tell me what you were feeling.
I was nervous because it was the first time performing here, and I was like, oh, it means so much to me because the performance was flamenco-inspired performance, right? And I was nervous, but at the same time I was so excited that the excitement was bigger than anything else. You know, and I was there with the musicians that we all come from Spain. Some of us, we come from Barcelona, so it means a lot.
Latin rock urban alternative album. It's a collection of all these songs, and you got the Grammy for that. Was it a difficult process to make the songs, or did it go fairly easy for you?
Definitely it was hard because I was experimenting during the whole process. I was like almost more than 2 years to prepare this record.
Wow.
And I was like really experimenting with the lyrics. I was inspired in flamenco, experimenting with the sound on the studio.
This is one that Spanish speakers make all the time, right? When they want to say todo fue inspirado, a lot of people say all was inspired. But actually in English we say everything was inspired. Everything was inspired by flamenco.
On the studio, with the production, with everything, all the details, I was really paying attention to the sound design. I wanted that it was perfect. Yeah. So it took a lot of time, honestly.
Wow. And you did it, and you won a Grammy.
Wow. Okay. Even in that year, we see that she had an improvement in her fluency. If we compare 2019 to 2020, in 2019, she was speaking a little bit more slowly. And I can see in 2020, she's speaking a little bit more quickly, right? It's not so difficult for her to get her ideas out in English. And there's a change in her pronunciation. I mean, you can hear it's a little bit more natural pronunciation. The next interview is from 2023 when she talks about maybe making music in English.
Hi, Rosalía. Hi, my producer of the year. You write, you sing, you dance, and you produce. Why is it important that you do all of those things?
Because it's all part of doing a project. And at the end of the day, the more you know, the better you can after create a project.
Again, with that British are like the better you can.
To me, it's always been about that.
You take a lot of risks.
It's always been about, you know, how can I make my music that really represents what I want to explain in that moment. So that's why it's important to know how to produce and how to write what I have in my mind.
You do it so incredibly. I have had Lie Like You Love Me on repeat for the last month. So amazing to hear you singing a little in English. Are there plans to do a full-length English song, a full-length English album?
You never know.
You never know. Very trying to keep that British pronunciation. You never know. Not you never know, like an American would.
Everything can happen, you never know, but for
everything can happen. It would more be anything can happen.
I'm very happy with Lie Like You Love Me,
yes.
How it feels. It was organic to that one, so we'll see in the future.
How did that come about, the idea to start singing in English? That's a big step in a career.
I mean, in my first album I did a version.
Yes.
Of a song in English.
Prince, yes.
Yeah. Bonnie Prince Billy. But you know, it was like something that it was time that I wanted to do it. It was long ago I wanted to do this. But I didn't force it. But I've been spending more time and more years here in the US. And that made me feel like, okay, now I understand better the language. So now I can write better in it.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a really interesting point. We can see when she started, right, in 2019, she was still in Spain. And after being in the US probably 2 to 3 years, we can see how naturally her English has changed and transformed. And now she's able to fluently express herself. Her accent, you know, is much more natural, much more understandable maybe for people who don't speak Spanish. Sometimes the Spanish sounds, when you bring them to English, people have a hard time understanding them. But we can see with time, her English has transformed and she speaks more confidently, more naturally. And we can even see that she's using lots of phrases that sound very native. Let's go to her most recent interview from 2025. This came out just a few days ago because we're like a week away from the release of her new album, Lux.
Hi, Rosalía, and today I'm gonna let Elle ask me anything or almost anything. Vamos. How did your iconic La Rosalía tag come to be? Basically, that's a good question. I don't think nobody ever asked me that.
I don't think anybody has ever asked me that.
Interesting. I was like, okay, so Ozuna, Bad Bunny, bebe. No, ¿cómo es el de Bad Bunny? And I was like, I have to have one. I need to have mine. And I felt like nobody knew who I was, and I was doing con altura, I was doing that style of songs where in reggaeton, a lot of times people have their tag. And I think that's so, it's fun and it's inspiring to use that code. I just improvised. I remember being in the studio improvising melodies, and I found La Rosalía, and that's the one I did. La Rosalía. And it stayed. What's the most Libra thing about you? Todo. Ser indecisa, siempre muy indecisa. ¿Qué más? La diplomacia, un clásico, la diplomacia. Carácter flirteador, jiji, jaja, siempre. What has been your biggest fashion regret? We'll have regrets here. Decisiones dudosas. Una decisión que se ha tomado en algún momento que pueda ser un poco dudosa vista en retrospectiva, pero no regrets.
Any favorite looks?
There was this Met look that I wore como un maniquí. Olivier did, my friend, and it was the last Met and I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked how clean it was. I really liked the idea, and yeah, I would say that one. What is one thing you and Billie Eilish have bonded over? Making a song with someone, it's very intimate. So probably making the song together, being in the studio together in Los Angeles. There's an image that I will always remember. It's her on the couch, and she had her notebook, su libreta, and she would just stay there. She seemed calm writing. She seemed like focused, and she would stay there like writing her lyrics. There was something so beautiful of seeing her like that.
There was something so beautiful about seeing her like that.
You've collaborated with artists like The Weeknd, Lisa, Babani. Who else is on your wish list? Kendrick. I love Kendrick Lamar. ¿Quién más? I would say Charlie, of course, Charlie. She's a good friend, and I would love to make music with her soon. And Patti Smith. I love Patti Smith. When was the last time you chewed gum? Girl, what you mean?
Oh my god. That's so funny. But I want to point out here this phrase that she used, right? This collocation. We can call it combination of two words, two or more words. What you mean? What do you mean? What you mean?
Yesterday? I think the gum moment was the gum moment. I don't think we repeat here. I think we always try to move forward and think what's next. What can you tease about your upcoming album that it doesn't sound like my previous album at all? That's what we can say, yeah. That's what we can tease. Which song of yours do you wish you could retire from performing? My songs are 10 out of 10. There's not even one that I could retire from performing.
What's the song that you love performing the most?
It depends on the day, because the days that are more moody, I would prefer to be like Saoko, Keep It Cute, De Plata, more like raging. But the days I feel more fragile, then I would probably prefer to sing a ballad, maybe singing more something like Catalina, Nos Quedamos Solitos, something that is more gentle. What is your dream music festival lineup? Definitely eclectic, maybe Thames.
I love how she says definitely, because she totally eats one syllable. She says definitely, it's so cute. Definitely.
Who else? Tego Calderón, Bjork, Latin Mafia, Ozuna. I love Ozuna, he performs so good. I like Rema. I like how Rema dances. Chapelle is great. Eclectic. What's your favorite lyrics that you've ever written? The ones from a new album. That's, I think, the best work that I've done so far. When I write, I feel sick. So the only way that I can do it is laying. Maybe it reminds me also of when I was younger, I would write in my room and That was the way that I could focus on just being in my room. And I didn't have a table in my room. I just had my bed. And that's how I learned. What's the most outrageous rumor you've heard about yourself? There's so many. Which one should I choose? The truth, though, is that I don't spend time on that. Like, I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. That's definitely not true. As soon as I see what they're saying and it's not true, I try to like not focus. Basically, my head goes blank when I think about these things. As soon as something is painful, probably, my mind just erases. What's one question you hope to never be asked again? Who's your crush? Yeah, enough with that question. Who's your crush? Who's your crush? You think I'm gonna tell you? You think I'm gonna tell you? Like, what?
She's so funny. She's hilarious. So here we can see how much she's confidently using humor, using jokes, which she's just naturally a funny person, a naturally charismatic person. But we can see how easily she can play, she can joke, which tends to be difficult for people in a second language.
No, that question is no. No. If you could cameo on any TV show, what would it be? It would be Succession, but Succession is over. So, the truth though is that I said Succession because my first answer would be Euphoria, and I'm doing it already, so, you know. When was the last time you were starstruck? I was doing a scene with Zendaya, and I say Zendaya, but they call her Z. Having that moment where we had a scene together, I remember being extremely nervous and trying to think, oh my God, I hope she don't notice. I hope she don't notice.
I hope she doesn't notice.
Then my English is so bad. And I remember she would ask something and I would think, oh my God.
The fact that she just said, I hope she doesn't notice because my English is so bad. Guys, please, people with any level of English can have this insecurity. If this isn't a sign, I don't know what is. Don't let your fears or your insecurities hold you back. Even Rosalía, who speaks great English, says, my English is so bad.
Oh my God, I hope that I'm answering, my English is fine. And she was like kind of speaking, throwing few words in Spanish. She was so sweet. She was so, ¿cómo se dice? Cariñosa with me. Like she was the best, the sweetest. And she made it so easy, but it was very shocking for me to share a scene with her.
I hope that this interview with Rosalía can give you guys peace of mind and also some perspective about English. Her first interview was in 2019 when her English level was clearly a lot lower. 6 years later, 2025, she's speaking with this level of fluency and she still says, my English is so bad. Guys, first of all, what we can understand is that learning English to fluency takes time. It's going to take you longer than 1 year. It's going to take you longer than maybe 2 years if your goal is to speak with this level of fluency. Be patient, trust the process, be disciplined. If there's anything that we can learn from Rosalía, it's about her discipline and her passion for what she does. Don't feel like you need to lose your accent. Your pronunciation, as long as it's understandable, right? I mean, in language, the whole point is for us to communicate our ideas. So we want our communication to be understandable, but you don't need to lose your accent. That accent tells your story. That accent gives your language, you're speaking, personality. So something we can learn from Rosalía: stay disciplined, be patient, trust the process, laugh, learn to laugh at yourself. So what if you made a mistake? Okay, laugh it off and ask for help. How do you say that? How do you really say that? We can see that Rosalía has a wonderful English level and sometimes she asks for help. And sometimes she has to say things in Spanish. ¿Cómo se dice cariñosa? It's okay. Guys, trust the process and be patient. And if you guys feel like you want someone to guide you, to help you through this English learning process, I have an English learning community where you can sign up. You'll have live classes every week with me and my team of teachers. And that's where we speak, we practice, and we improve together. So be patient, trust the process, and I hope to see you guys in next week's video. Bye.